Most software sales don't close on the first call. In fact, they usually involve multiple meetings, weeks of back and forth emails, follow-up questions, internal discussions, and responses like, "I'm not sure if now's the right time," or "Let me talk this over with my partner." This one didn't. Everything you're about to watch in this video happened during the very first conversation I've ever had with the owners of this window replacement business in Indiana. In fact, before this meeting, they had never spoken to me or anyone else on my team. At least not a human. They originally called our business phone line, and our voice AI agent answered the call, qualified them as a lead, answered the questions, and booked the demo, all without any human involvement. So before I even joined the Zoom call, HighLevel had already demonstrated what it was capable of. Now, as you're watching through this demo, pay attention to the process. I don't start by showing them features. Instead, I spend the first 20 minutes of the call understanding how their business operates, what tech stack they're using, how they're generating leads, where the bottlenecks are, and where I believe we can create the biggest impact with the smallest possible changes. Only then do I start showing them the software. And even then, I'm not selling them features. Every feature I show them is tied back to a problem that they told me they have, and I tailor the use case specifically to their business and the outcome that it creates. By the end of the call, they'd seen enough value. They muted themselves for just a couple of seconds, came back, and told me they wanted to move forward. But don't click away once the call ends. Afterward, I'll walk you through the follow-up email I sent immediately after the meeting, the response just a couple minutes later, and the paid setup invoice that I sent, so you can see exactly how I took the momentum forward from this call and turned it into a paying client within minutes. Let's jump in. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Are you able to hear me all right?
Yes, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Great.
Awesome. How's your day going so far?
So far, so good. How about you?
Good, not too bad. Correct me if I'm wrong, you're based in Indiana, correct?
Yeah, Southern
Right.
Indiana. We're in an area with Illinois and Kentucky as well.
Gotcha. Okay, awesome. Before I jump in, just curious, how did you find us or hear about us?
I heard about you guys through the Success Society through the Wealthy Contractor.
Awesome. Appreciate you sharing that, and glad to know we're doing something right, or at least someone's speaking highly of us for you to book with us. So good to know that. And, my name is Shafkat. I am the owner of Lead Buddy. I own a couple other businesses as well. Primarily work with businesses like yours in the home services space. We have a good amount of clients in that category, but would love to learn a little bit more about you and your business, and just starting with how long you've been in this space for.
So we've been in business since 2016. We just do replacement windows and doors. We do a lot of TV advertising. We dabble a little bit with SEO and a little bit of PPC that we're doing through right now. We also do a pretty good sized campaign with Angie as well.
And so just do door and window replacement. You said you've been in business since 2016, so right around 10 years. And then geographically, is it that same area you mentioned of Southern Indiana, a little bit of Illinois?
Yeah, so we run about a 70 to 80 mile radius around Evansville.
70 to 80 mile radius. You said around, was it Evansville?
Yeah.
Cool.
Hi, I'm Shell, Lynn's other partner here. We have kind of a niche market area because we are 2 hours from any major market, Nashville, Indy, St.
Okay.
We're in the center of that valley right there.
Got it, 2 hours away from, you said Nashville?
Indy, St. Louis, and Louisville.
Wow, I didn't realize you'd be that close to Nashville even.
We are the largest town in between those areas. It's like a center point for those 4 areas. We're the largest town in that area.
Good to know.
Yep.
Right now with the business where you're at, how many team members or employees do you have, or crews do you have?
We have 3 employees and 2 crews. The crews are subcontractors.
And then the 3 employees are handling your internal admin and operations.
Yep.
Got it. Cool.
Those 3 include the 2 of us.
Got it. Okay, so you 2 plus 1 more. Okay.
Yep.
And is that person on site, or are they virtual admin, or?
She's on site.
Got it. And so walk me through a little bit about, regardless of where they come from, what the sales process looks, how you handle the going out and doing an estimate, what that process kind of looks like.
So a lot of the leads come in through calls, and then obviously on the SEO and PPC, they can also come in through forms. If they are forms, we call the forms immediately once they show up in our email. That's assuming they come in between 8 o'clock and 5:30, because those are our open hours. That's Monday through Friday. So those get called immediately. And then from there, if they don't reach them, kind of put them into a call queue and try to reach out to them several times over the next few days. If they do reach them, obviously a lead is set, and we try to get both people there for the lead, all deciding parties, if you will. Sometimes, of course, it's single, and that's not a problem at all. So then we run the appointment and go from there. hopefully turn
Got
it
it.
into a sale. There's typically, I know you guys help with follow-up. We typically don't do a whole lot of follow-up at this point. Occasionally I will call back bigger jobs to try to follow up, but there's not a whole lot of follow-up on our end. So that's something we can definitely use some help with.
Got it. So just to kind of summarize that part, first contact, whether it's they call in because they saw your advertisement on TV, or if it's a form fill and you reach out to them and they answer, essentially just getting on the phone with them to get an estimate in person book. Usually it was that like a certain time frame where you try to do it within the first 2-3 days. Is it a week? What does that timeline look like?
We're trying to call them immediately. We're trying to schedule the estimate on the first call. And then, typically if we want to set the appointment as quickly as possible, most of the time we can get it set within 3 to 4 days. Sometimes with people's schedules, they get pushed out as much as a week or more.
From there, once you give the estimate, you said right now there isn't a lot of follow-up as far as reaching back out to them saying, hey, just wanted to understand if you're moving forward or what they're thinking.
Right. I mean, we're
okay.
generally a first call close type company. So typically either we get it while we're there or we don't get it.
Cool. Let's see. And so right now, what are you using as far as scheduling the estimate call as well as tracking or capturing and tracking the leads in some kind of CRM? Are you using any tools right now?
We don't have a CRM. We do have a spreadsheet it's all manual. I mean, it's all done on a little spreadsheet.
Our volume is less than 20 calls a day coming in.
Got it. Which even that is a pretty good volume.
Yeah, for new leads though, we're probably talking less than 6 or 7 calls a day. So not really a whole. We're lucky if we're running 2 appointments a day,
which is not what we're used to. We would like to go back to 6 to 8 leads a day.
I'm wanting to get you guys set up or somebody set up as a CRM so that when we are able to add more leads, hopefully through another lead aggregator or something, that we're all set up and we're ready to go and we can stay as organized as possible and make the most out of those leads. And I understand you guys can help us be efficient with that.
Okay. And so you mentioned that you were at 8 appointments per day at one point. What was kind of how long ago was that drop off? And do you know?
We were never at 8 appointments.
We have 8 openings a day.
We have 8 slots.
Okay. Sorry about that.
Yeah,
okay,
there's 8 slots. We've never been at 8.
Open.
And now we really have 6 slots a day because we have 4 for myself and then I have an assistant who can run 2. I mean, we would be extremely happy if we could put 15 to 20 leads a week on our calendar.
But if you can increase that, we can afford to hire another salesperson.
Absolutely.
That's the point of
that's true.
What we're trying to do.
Yeah. But our sales capacity right now is 15 to 20.
Got it. And then what about estimates? What tools are you using for that? Is it just kind of a PDF that you send out, or what tool are you using for that?
No, we're
paper contracts.
It's old school, man. We go into people's house, we do a window presentation, go through everything, paper contract, the old light kit and all that. We don't use like Read AI or anything like that.
There's no PowerPoint presentation. It's a live human presenting the product in the home. We offer multiple products, and as you speak with the client on the initial approach to the house, you decide if you're going to bring in 3 products or all of the products.
Yeah. Are you looking for the Cadillac? Is this going to be a flip house? What are we doing here?
We just doing basement windows. Do you want one door? Yeah. So they carry all those samples and are prepared. We bring the showroom to your home.
Cool. And then when you finish working with a customer, are you asking them for Google reviews, or is there some kind of process to try to continue adding on Google reviews to your Google business profile?
So we do something called a post-installation feedback call. And during that process, when we're asking for their opinion on the work and how we did on cleanup and if we left the yard sign and all that, we are mentioning reviews and asking for reviews. But that's, it's kind of just left at that. And I know there's processes out there to make it better than that. So that would be great.
Got it. Yeah, I appreciate you kind of walking me through all of that. Right now, if fix or focus on one thing, whether it's getting more leads versus cleaning up and converting more of the leads that you already have right now, what would be, do you think, the priority between those two?
I think for me, it would be getting more. I mean, I think both of those things are important. I think getting more leads would be better.
Out of all the leads that come in, how many of them do you get actually booked for an estimate?
I'd say we set 70 to 75% of those.
And then out of the estimates that you actually hold and give them a number of, okay, this is what it's going to cost, what percentage of those would you say move forward?
I think it's right around 64% last year, but that also includes our repeat and referral appointments. So I mean that number's skewed on the fact that it includes the repeats and referrals as well. So
yeah, I mean that number is impressively high for your space. So you're doing something right.
Yeah, well, and you got to remember the owners earn 70% of the estimates, so that pulls a lot of weight as well. Right. And you're right. I mean, that's a huge closing number. I mean, I worked for other window companies before I worked for myself, so I know that's an enormous number. And we do really well, and we're real picky. I mean, quite frankly, we won't go see somebody who's a one leg. We overqualify that lead, and I've chosen to be picky about our leads like that. I know I don't have to be.
People hang up on us because of it.
Yeah, and I don't want. We're a very, very small show, and because of that, I've got to value my time. We don't have a whole lot of options to get somebody out to a house, so we definitely have to make sure that when we get out there, it's a qualified situation.
Got it. Yeah, that makes total sense. Yeah, so I appreciate you walking through that. Now,
but that's why the closing number is so high.
Yeah, that makes absolute sense. Yeah, so I'm not sure how much you'd seen about LeadBuddy or what. I don't know if it was my name in particular that was mentioned, or if it was LeadBuddy. But just to kind of take a step back, we do offer LeadBuddy as a CRM chat widget on the software as a software product. But beyond that, I operate as a growth partner and business strategist for businesses like yours. So I've worked with a good amount of home service businesses. So we do everything from digital marketing as far as paid ads on channels like Google, Instagram, Facebook, and even in other platforms. And then we also have virtual assistants that we're able to place in your business to take on the routine admin stuff, like following up on leads, getting estimates booked, sending out the estimates, following up on them, all the different human components or things that still need to be done by a human, freeing that stuff up from your mental bandwidth. So you can just focus on doing the estimates and the actual core function of your business, and not getting time sucked up hounding down leads or collecting payment from customers. So everything that I do is centered around the idea of building for 10x growth. If you're familiar with this book or a concept called 10x is easier than 2x, I help build business systems that enable entrepreneurs to focus or strive for exponential growth, not linear. So I mentioned that because I know you booked time for the LeadBuddy CRM demo, but if you are looking for general help beyond just the scope of a software, we are able to help with running paid ads and placing a virtual assistant within your business. So for today's call, I can just show you what the software is and how that would add value to your business.
So let's take a look at the LeadBuddy for now. And we're always looking for ideas on how to produce more.
Awesome. Okay, sounds good. So let me go ahead. I'm going to share my screen here. Let me know if you see it.
Yep. Got it.
All right, cool. So yeah, this is our LeadBuddy dashboard. When you first log in, it'll give you kind of a bird's eye view, CEO view, I call it, where it shows you your pipeline and what is currently in there as far as the number of opportunities and how many are open, lost, and won. You can see the actual dollar value of that pipeline. So, you can see how much of it is in different stages, like new lead, qualified, booked estimate out, etc. And so you can kind of see, okay, I have a lot of revenue in my pipeline in this stage. I need to focus on this stage of the pipeline and try to get them moved down. If there's tasks to follow up with with open estimates, you can see those here. If you're running different ads on Google, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, whatever, you can connect all of those accounts here. So you have one place to view that, as well as, just your Google Analytics. So it makes it really easy to just see what's going on with a business in one place instead of having to go to Facebook, Google, LinkedIn, all those channels individually. Any questions on this?
I do. I have a question. So for instance, if we ended up staying with on our PPC, that would link to this and I would see how much came specifically from them, or how does that work?
Yeah, I'm not sure how they have it set up exactly, like if they created the Google ad account for you or if they're just added as an agency. But either way, we would be able to connect the Google ad account here, and then you would be able to just go here and see it instead of having to go to the Google dashboard.
For me personally, is overwhelming and over my head. Glenn deals with this much more often than I do. Who's your middleman from between us and this that would break this down where we can take in the information and use it? Because I see crazy numbers here I know this is a demo board, but how do we need somebody to interpret what we're seeing. It's great information, but not if you don't know what you're seeing.
Right. So like you said, the numbers are all kind of arbitrary. That's based on what you or whoever's doing the estimates, they would have to, populate and say, I did this estimate for this lead. It was for 14,000. And when you input those numbers, it kind of tabulates what is in each pipeline across all of your estimates out.
So you need to come into all of our books and software so you can pull those numbers automatically, or it's something our team is going to have to input manually?
It would be inputted here manually. We can connect to other tools, but the idea is you can use this to create estimates and invoices. That's in this section here. But Most of our clients end up sending their estimates through this tool. So when they're doing that they're using this tool to enter the numbers and it's populating in the dashboard and reporting.
We have talked only briefly about getting one of the, some sort of tablet that has a PDF form that digitally uploads information. So is that something that can be integrated into this easily? Will it make things easily for our sales force?
Yeah, there is a mobile app that you can use on a tablet or phone when you're actually on job sites on site with the customer to provide the estimate. You can just create the invoice or the estimates directly in there and it would pull in the data here. And then, this dashboard is fully customizable. If there are other things that you want to see, how many appointments were booked, how many estimates were sent out, what are my, new Google reviews that came in during this certain period, all of that you can just customize to whatever data points you want to visualize.
So we don't have a CRM currently in place. We use QuickBooks Online for everything. Does that transfer?
Yes, this integrates with QuickBooks. So if you want to start sending out estimates through this tool, which I would recommend doing, just makes it easier. And then that turns into an invoice and you take a payment, that data would pull into QuickBooks as a transaction for bookkeeping purposes.
Our sales team is from the 1900s. Is there videos they have problems when they get a new telephone or when they get a new app on their phone? So the explanations of how to use these programs, is it very easy?
Yes. So we do training for the onboarding process. There is also a helpful support widget here that just has education on every part of the tool you can think of. And then it's broken up by function. And then there's also 24/7 live chat support, both AI and human. So I also hold weekly office hours on Tuesdays. So that is open for any users to join if they have a quick question or I would point someone towards the support option here for more quick questions that they need help with versus on the Tuesday office hours. It's more so larger troubleshooting if they're having issues that can't be resolved here, or if it's more like a strategy question as far as how to get the best use from the platform.
Sure. I'm the unofficial IT person. So when we have to, Geek Squad is our official IT person. So there you go. That's how advanced we are in IT.
Gotcha.
Seriously, that's all we've ever needed is me and IT or Geek Squad, So I just wanted you to have some kind of understanding how mom and pop shop we are.
No worries. Yeah, I totally understand. We've definitely worked with businesses like yours where it's similar dynamic and a small mom and pop team that's running the operations. So that's kind of the sweet spot and where I like to work because I feel like there's more impact and value that we can add.
Thank you for that detailed information. Like I said, sometimes we get lost when we've tried stuff because they think we're out here doing 10 mil a year and we're just not there yet. We wish we wouldn't have these problems. Somebody else would handle it for us. So
gotcha. Right. Yeah. I mean, my whole goal is to try to get you from where you are now to over that 5 mil, 10 mil per year.
Sure. Yeah.
But so moving from dashboards into conversations, this is essentially your unified inbox across email, text messages, even Instagram DMs, Google business profile messages that you have. All of those populate into one place. And we're actually able to create a phone number for your business in here directly. And that can be accessed from the computer as well as on mobile devices like iPad or iPhone.
Like a VoIP?
Correct. Yep, exactly. And we can set up multiple numbers. So we can create one phone number specifically for TV ads you're running, another one for if you're doing radio ads, another number if you want to do ads on Facebook or Instagram. So we can track and see if this call's coming in from this person or this number, we know exactly what source that's coming from.
Nice.
We currently use AT&T Office at Hand. So would you assume all of that? We would just port all of our numbers to you? How would that work?
Yeah, we could port those numbers into our system. It would probably save you a good amount of money to do that, or you can keep those there and then we can set up separate numbers here moving forward.
Some of our advertising, we already have provide their own phone numbers, of course, for their own tracking. So
we went through conversations. I'll talk a little bit in a few sections about the AI portion of it. That's completely up to you how much you want to integrate that. But this right here, it's great for tracking conversations across different channels because, for example, here you'll see with one person, this contact that you can see the text, the emails, you can see the appointment getting booked. You can see like if there was an invoice on here, all of that would display in that thread with this particular contact. So if it started off as an Instagram DM and then it became a text message or there was emails exchange, you can see the entire thread. So there isn't any, so it just makes it super easy to track conversations.
And that's a part of the AI abilities?
That's not the AI part. It's more so just consolidating everything into one. The AI would be like a step above that where you're able kind of to start responding automatically with training that you provide it. This right here is just the actual inbox to view everything. The AI agent would be where it would actually respond on your behalf without you having to do anything.
Thank you for reaching out. We'll get back to you as soon as it can. It will say, how can I help you? And then branch you off to what department you need.
Correct. Yep, exactly.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
So in those communication histories, if that's what you want to call it, will it also show phone calls that happened with that person?
Correct. Yes, as long as they're using the number coming in the system here, that phone number would show up here. Yep.
Is it we get a big thing for the lady in the office is a text transcript of the call.
Yes, you would get a text transcript. You would get the recording of it as well for reference. So yeah, we get both. So calendars, this is essentially where we would just set up a basic, we could set up like a 15-minute phone call consult. And then the main one that we want to get is the on-site estimate where a member of your team would actually go out. We can set up those here. You can have all your different team members and crews linked to it. We'd set them up as users and then have those scheduled there. So pretty straightforward. Yeah, we can customize it to however you want to structure that. Yeah,
and
any questions?
Google Workspace would all integrate with make this easy peasy?
Yep, exactly.
Great.
We use Google Calendar right now.
We use Google Workspace we're all connected there.
Got it. That's super easy to connect with. Contacts, very straightforward. It's just your glorified phone book. I would say where it gets a little very useful is in the tag section specifically. So, you can tag people based on what stage in your pipeline they are. If it's like a lead, if they're an estimate out, if it's existing customer, you can tag them by geography, like Southern Indiana, if they're in Illinois, if they are a door replacement versus a window replacement.
Can you map this as well? You can be like, all right, I am in say I'm in Carmi, Illinois. I want to map the last 30 customers I had here to go say, here's some window cleaner. How's your job been? Getting like for not door to door, but just touch base with previous customers. It's something that our sales team does.
So what you could do with that would be, in that case, you would tag them as whatever city or state. You would tag them as, like, let's say 2026 Q3 or Q2 installation, and then you could filter by those tags and then do a bulk outreach to all of those contacts. Or if someone was introduced to you through a particular channel and you want to reach out to all of those, the people that were introduced from that one person.
And you can, I imagine, create endless customizable tags.
Yep, exactly. You can create
and you can tag one job 50 items.
Yep, exactly.
Or one contact could be tagged 50 ways.
Right. Yep, yeah, you can see here all the different tags that are associated with it. So, and then if there were people that were referred to you by a general contractor, or if you want to reach out to other vendors or referral partners, you can filter by that and then reach out to them that way too.
That's awesome.
Great.
Do you also make time for us to use all these tools?
Yeah. So part of the office hours is going through and kind of, if you have questions on how to structure it and build this out, we help with that. And then if you have a list of contacts that you've worked with previously, we'll help import and sort and tag them and organize them accordingly to make sure you're set up for that. Okay. So opportunities is kind of the core function that we're looking at here. We set up your pipeline based on the stages that we think make the most sense, from new lead, all if they're qualified, this is an actual person that's interested rather than someone trying to sell you their service. If they book for an estimate, after the estimate goes out, what that process looks like, if it becomes stale or if they actually become a customer, if they're in a completed job that you want to reach out to for follow-ups and like ask for review, or maybe maintenance in a couple of years, whatever that looks like, we can customize it to that, whatever breakdown you want it. And if you click on an opportunity card, it will pull this up. Wow. You can enter, let's say this job was for 14,653. I would put that, and then that's what I would update as far as the total value in that column. And then you can book an appointment here directly for an estimate. You can add tasks to, follow up with them in 3 days. You can add notes here as, okay, I spoke with this person on the phone. They mentioned they're on vacation, but to follow up next month, or left voicemail. Awesome. So just makes it easy to track. And so there's no guesswork as far as what is the status here. And then if you have an invoice that you want to send out or an estimate, you can do both of those from here. And then payments, that's pretty straightforward. Again, you can create an estimate directly in here. Let's see your estimates. So you can create one from here, just add your line items. You just have to set up your products and you can customize the design of it as well. But very straightforward.
But we already have those things in QuickBooks, that information to transfer.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, we would import the products from QuickBooks into here.
Great. We don't have products. We have services, but all that it'll transfer over.
Correct. Yep, exactly. And then who do you work with as far as payment processing?
That's what I was going to ask you. Do you offer a payment program, or you just have? Who do we use now? Your card swiper.
I don't know. I don't know the name of it.
We never know the name of them. They're always, we've been hearing for months it's illegal to charge a debit card, credit card fees, blah, blah, blah. And we can never get a straight story. We just use whoever's got the best deal at the time we called.
Got it. Okay. So with this, we can connect with whatever payment processor you use. We have a preferred one that is exclusive to our platform, that generally saves businesses anywhere from 50 to 90% on processing fees. The exact savings kind of depend on the volume, but we've saved a couple of businesses anywhere from $2,000 to $2,500 a month just on processing fees alone.
Wow. I mean, we don't use credit cards every day even, but the process is painful sometimes.
The other thing too is when you switch, having to buy the new equipment.
Yeah.
Constantly.
Yeah,
so you wouldn't have to worry about that here because you would send out the invoice directly from our platform and you can take a payment from your phone using the app. So
nice. With no swiper, no.
Correct. Yep.
Nice.
And then if needed, you can also email and text the invoice to them as well so they can complete it on their phone if needed.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so we've seen a lot of savings in home service businesses that switch over to our processor. They also offer what we call, it's called dual pricing. So if you send out an invoice for $1,000, if they want to use ACH, it'll show them the price factoring in the processing fees based on which payment method they use. So if it's ACH, it would still be $1,000. If it's debit card, it would still be $1,000. And then if they want to use the credit card for the points, or if they want to just finance it differently, then it would show 1,030. So they can see the exact transparent
pricing. Can we invoice
pricing
for a bank payment as well? Is that what the ACH is?
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
Nice.
Cool. All right. So let's see here. There's a couple more things. AI agents, there's a few things there. We can set up agents to answer your phone calls as well as the text messages and Instagram DMs or website leads you have coming in. So Glenn, I believe you actually called in and spoke with one of our AI agents. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I took a look at the recording. There's some things that we have to adjust as far as, the sensitivity of like how quickly they're, jumping in. But for the most part, for businesses that get a good amount of phone volume, we've configured it pretty well, and they're getting a lot of appointments booked in real time with no human input. So just frees up your time so you're not having to answer the phone, and we're able to get estimates booked on your calendar for you.
The IRS should use you guys. You sure can't find anybody to talk to there.
Right. This is one of those things where it's kind of up to you how much you want to utilize it. We can roll it in. We can phase it in, and especially if we're starting to grow and we start getting more phone volume, or the volume starting to overwhelm you, then we can phase that in. But yeah, it's totally up to you to what extent. Or you can just set it so that it's after hours when no one in the office is there, just to make sure that you're not losing leads to competitors or other businesses because you're living life. Or
so we can have this. So we can go as simple as, do you want option, make an appointment service or a salesperson? Or you can go as much as having them have a full-on conversation.
It can have up to a 10-minute conversation. And we can set it so that it's, the lowest end of it would be just if you're not available after hours, weekends, or if you're on another call and someone calls in, we can have it as a backup, versus if you don't want to even handle any calls, we can just be running 24/7. So it's up to you.
All the so are these all in the same? I mean, we haven't talked anything about price, commitment, anything like that. So is this all each level elevated? You have to buy something new, or is this all included in what you're showing us today?
Everything I showed is in one platform. There's a couple different tier options that you have depending on what feature set you want. Pretty straightforward. And there's only, I'd say, the AI part of it is one feature set that would be on a higher tier plan, but everything I showed so far would be on our standard plan.
Okay.
So I think we went through most of the things here that would be relevant. Automation, really technical, but don't want to bore you with the details there. But just stuff like when a new lead comes in, what is the sequence of emails that go out to you as well as to the lead to get them to book for an estimate? When the estimate's booked, the reminders that go out. When an invoice is due, what are the reminders that go out there? If an invoice is paid, what happens? After a job is completed, we're asking for reviews and making sure that we grow the business profile there. So yeah, all of that stuff we can build out workflows for.
This is something I've newly discovered, and I've been asking them in the office what I can automate to help them move their day along. So this is amazing that you have those tools. I've been trying to express how much it's not freeing up their time, it's just using their time better.
Yep, makes sense. Yeah, and then sites, there's a few things here. Obviously, you guys already have a website built. We have some tools here to bolt onto your website and make it more effective in capturing leads. The main thing would be the chat widget, which I notice you don't have one on your website currently, that would be the easiest thing that I would say immediately right off the jump. We would be able to better capture leads. We've noticed anywhere from a 4.5 to 5x increase in the number of leads you're capturing from your website. And that's simply because when you're going to your current site right now, you have a form built right here. So it's better than most businesses where they're expecting you to scroll to the bottom to get in touch or, go to a different page. A chat widget that pops up like this gets a higher conversion because it just feels less invasive and less of a commitment, even though you're getting the same information.
So Glenn and I recently discussed the booking on the calendar on the website, right? I think it's moving forward. That's, what we're all coming to. So we would like to have a deep pre-qualification before you even get to see the calendar to book. Like, we want to make sure both of you are there. We want both of your names, not just, yes, I have a spouse and they're going to be there. We really want to qualify that we're not running one person leads. You know what I mean? Like if the husband's never going to be home, then it's a $50 estimate fee. But if you book both of you, it's free. Like if we show up and only one of you there, it's still, $50, but whatever. We're just really trying to force that. That's one of his fears of going to the online booking is getting qualified leads, and we're not driving 2 hours away for something that doesn't pan out.
Yep, that makes total sense. And so there's a few things
we
that
had
we
just
can do.
talked about opening up the Evansville metro area, doing a sample or a trial for 60 days, and opening that booking up to see what happens.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. So as far as the qualification of it, we can add whatever questions you want to the chat widget. Generally, I like to keep this window minimal just to grab their contact details and a quick message. And then we will use AI to move that conversation to text. So it's texting the lead, hey, how many windows are you looking at? What do you currently use? When would you like to book? Will all the decision makers be present for that appointment? All of that is happening over text, and we can structure that call or the text flow to make sure that it's grabbing all of those informations before giving them a time to book on their calendar.
Okay. So is there a way to congenially disqualify them if they say, I don't want, this is my job and I don't care what my wife says? So is there a way to say, please call the office for further information at that point so they don't book?
Yeah, you can definitely put that as part of the additional instructions where it says, if the lead indicates that they're the sole decision maker and don't need to consult with anyone else, then route them towards this direction, please.
So if this, then that kind of thing.
Yep, exactly.
Great.
Cool. So we talked through sites, and then your existing website forms and stuff. We can connect directly to the system as well, so it pulls in all your leads from the website to the CRM.
You'd be able to do that also with the Angie and the Search Kings.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
And then lastly,
just have to make sure that's the whole point, right? Is to get all this stuff in one place.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly. And then QR codes is another thing I think would be useful, especially if you're running TV ads. I don't know. In the TV ad, are you just kind of giving them a phone number and an email to call? Number.
Yep.
So this would, I can guarantee you, increase the conversion that you get from that by at least 2 or 3x because you're not waiting on them to grab their phone and dial the phone number or find the link. As long as they can just pull up the QR code or the camera and then scan your QR code.
It's like missing division in 4th grade. QR codes is something I missed out on in technology. I've thought it'd been great from day one on our business cards. People are just making it, whatever makes it easy for somebody to pop your information up.
Yeah. And so you can set up QR codes for them to text you, to call you.
That's awesome.
You can track exactly if you're running a campaign on, like, what kind of, are you doing it on Netflix, on local TV? What type of?
We don't have any OTT. We run strictly, I guess we do have OTT because there's no antennas anymore, but we don't have a package for OTT.
Got it. Main reason for that question was if you were doing it on YouTube TV locally, you can see, okay, one QR code specifically for that platform or channels, for example, have very clear analytics and attribution for each place that you're placing it. Yeah, so I think that would be one really great feature for you. And then last but not least is reputation management. So we are able to connect your Google business profile, your Facebook, Yelp, other platforms, and create an automation. So when you're done with the customer and want to request a review, you can connect that and it'll automatically send to them. And not only will it request the review, but it'll also, you can have AI respond to the leads automatically using, mentioning something that they referenced and mentioning them by name, as well as referencing something that was in the review.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah. And then we can schedule the exact time. Like, okay, we want the response to be within 5 hours. And Google definitely rewards you responding to them quickly. And then we can also build out a widget that you would place on your website to showcase the reviews. So if you scroll down our website, you can see reviews from our customers here. And so, it's actual verified reviews that are coming directly from Google, not ones that we added ourselves. So adds more credibility and authority there.
What do you do with competitor reviews that give you a 1-star review? We've had a couple we feel like might have been, they're not customer of ours. There's no identifying information. It's just random bullcrap.
If someone's leaving you a 1-star, 2-star, 3-star, we can have it notify you and say this came through. Like there isn't really a tool here within.
No, I don't want to take it away, but do you have a response? Do you handle those in a certain way?
So the AI would probably respond to it thinking that it was a genuine customer. It would notify you that this person responded here. And then I guess you would have to kind of look to see and cross-check with your records, like, is there such a person that actually worked with us that left us a review? Or and then you can adjust the response saying, we don't have any record of a customer by your name working with us. That at least when other people see it, they can see that, okay, this is probably a competitor that just wanted to sabotage.
Yeah.
Cool. So I think that was everything that I wanted to go through. I know I talked your ear off. So were there any questions or thoughts as far as, how this would work and, impact on your business?
I've got a couple questions. I'm assuming this is recorded. Did you record this?
Yes. Yeah, I did record this and you'll get a summary of it. So anything we went through, you can reference back.
Yeah. I just want to make sure. It just seems like sometimes, we get involved with something like this and we'll get it all set up and I'll be like, wasn't this supposed to do this too? And I'll be like, and I just can't remember all the features and everything of it. So it'll be good for me to have that to go back and reference. I
really enjoy your setup. It looks very streamlined, very easy, user-friendly. As I said, we don't have a tech-savvy staff. So I'm super hyped, but Glenn knows I get super hyped seeing a dog cross the street. Well, that's how hyped, I was all hyped when I saw your dog in the background. I saw your dog in the background earlier. Yeah. So
if we decided to move forward, I assume you're probably willing to go through this with the rest of my staff.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. So the idea would be to get whoever and that's part of why I ask how many team members you have, who's doing what function, so we can make sure that we're training them and tailoring the conversations around what their use case and experience would be around the software.
Perfect.
We're recently, as in this week, found out that our staff who speak Spanish and we do not, our crew, they lost their translator. So what about those kind of things? Neither of us in office took a foreign language. We're Midwest Americans that our parents told us, you don't need a foreign language, you're in America. That's how we grew up. I mean, we just don't have it. And we need to overcome that. We have several nationality customers that English isn't their first language. So
yeah, that makes absolute sense. And that's definitely something that we've experienced and can help with. So on the software side, the voice agents, I think they have 18 or 19 languages that they can speak in. So definitely more than you or I or most humans can speak in. And then, if you want, I mentioned our virtual assistant services. We do have team members that speak other languages that we can place to handle phone calls for the human component of it, if that's something that you need help with.
So can you, I know there's different tiers. I mean, can you clarify for me, kind of what's included with each?
Right. Yeah.
If we're that far. I don't know if we're that far yet.
Yes. Yeah. That was basically the next steps as far as moving forward, kind of going through the pricing, the tiers of plans, and then the setup, what that kind of looks like. So we do have a pretty easy pricing table as far as what our features, what our plans are. Most businesses end up on the Pro plan for $197. The Elite plan, that's really if you want the AI functionality where it answers the phone calls for you, it books appointments automatically. Most businesses start off here, and then if they want to upgrade, use AI functions, then like the voice AI agents, that's where they upgrade to the $297. So, and we are running a special on this one where instead of $297, it would be $247 a month. And then we do have a one-time setup fee of $750. And that includes the training, the build out of everything that we talked about, making sure that the software is configured to your specific business from day one.
So 6 months down the road, we're getting a glitch and it was already past our free period time, whatever. What happens then?
So what do you mean by free period or the glitch?
Well, let's go. Is there a contract? Months required?
There's no contract. It's month to month. The setup for usually takes about 2 to 3 weeks, but beyond that, there's no obligation to stay with the platform. You're free to cancel whenever.
$750 upfront fee is your contract.
Yeah.
Right.
I guess one thing that's really important to me is like, how hands-on do I need to be during this process? I don't have the time to put into it myself. My office can put some time into it, but do I need to be very hands-on with this process myself?
No, as long as you have team members that have access to the web domain, the website, calendars, we can work around that. My goal is to have you in this tool as little as possible.
I'm the admin on all those accounts. I have access to
Perfect.
all that information. I don't have a schedule. I'm willing to book, blocks of time, but I don't
Mhm.
have a Monday through Friday schedule.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so I would be coordinating with you, my team and I. So Sam, she's my assistant. She's on the call as well in the background, just taking notes.
Sure,
And
sure.
she would be coordinating with you as far as getting all the assets that we need to configure it. And then, right now we obviously we just talked about having the CRM in place, but I think long-term goal would be to then get a virtual assistant for you that would be handling all the admin. So neither of you are using the tools. You can, focus on whatever you want, whether it's identifying other strategic partnerships, playing golf more, and not even being hands-on in the business, or
Yeah.
traveling, or we have clients. I mentioned Jeremy from Dayton, who I'm fairly confident is probably the one that mentioned us. He started off with a pressure washing business. We worked with him for about a year and a half. His original business doubled. He scaled his hours from over 120 a week to down to just 5 to 6 hours a week. Started a second business that's now doing 3 million a year, and then now is in the process of building a third business. And the idea is we were able to free up over 90% of the time he was spending in his first business. He used that to launch a second one. He could have done whatever he wanted with that time. It's just making sure that we free it up between automation, AI, and human assistance to allow you to allocate that time towards whatever you want.
It's a good thing. I'm just kind of looking at the differences here between the plans.
So what in your that's awful small print for me on this tablet. What's your difference if you're selling us the difference between 97 and 197 a month?
So 95% of businesses that I talk to, especially in the home service space, it doesn't make sense for them there because you don't get the reputation management tool. You don't get the website chat widget, which would be installed on your website to capture leads. You wouldn't get invoice and estimates. So it's more a very stripped down version of our core features. So yeah,
Sure.
Pretty much every home business that we work with starts at the 197 plan.
And then you would talk to our website provider and get that chat function set up.
Yep, exactly.
Currently, the majority of our budget is television advertising, and we need to wean that addiction out. So I told Glenn, like I said, we just had this conversation like 2 nights ago, and he's like, I've got this meeting coming. Yeah, I just feel like we're missing out on a market share because we don't have those automations in our website that people are looking for nowadays. Not my mom. She's scared of it. But my kids are like, I don't want to talk to anybody. I want to push a button and make it happen.
Right. And those are kind of the decision makers or the core audience now. Like I'm guessing younger families that are buying homes, that are probably your core audience.
Yeah.
What would you say are the key things that would help me in Elite versus Pro?
Elite would be where if you're getting so much volume from phone calls coming in that you don't want to answer them on your own.
No one is.
Or if you are responding to text messages a lot and want to pass that off to AI, that's where the Elite would come into play.
I don't think we need that. I mean, we just don't have that kind of volume. I think the Pro is probably where we're at.
Only if you can keep nagging customers from, there's bugs on my windows, silly things that we have nothing.
Right. Yeah, and that is where technically the AI could handle those phone calls and filter them out. But I think there's a certain volume you need to hit before. This is meant more for like plumbers where they're getting 50, 60 phone calls a day and they're missing leads because they're not able to answer the phone call.
Absolutely.
And they're losing leads to the competitors. So I think this is a better place to start. And then if, as we grow and clean up some and make things a little bit more efficient and there's more volume coming in, then we can chat about moving over to the Elite plan.
Okay. Can we, you mind if we have a quick little conversation? We'll put you on mute for a second. I'll be right back.
Yeah, of course. No worries.
A few moments later.
Okay, we're back.
Okay. What on the onboarding, you said 2 to 3 weeks. What hour is it? 2 hours a day, 1 day for 10 hours? Like what kind of time requirements are you got there?
I would say it would be probably 3 or 4 calls that we would, and a lot of it we can get done over email. So I would say probably starting with like 2 calls spaced like 2 weeks apart for about 90 minutes each should be the bulk of the time needed. The rest of it, if you can put me in touch with your website admin.
Sure.
So yeah, and you've done a really good job of creating checklists and things that you can follow at your own pace. That
absolutely. That's what I was getting ready to ask you was like, from the examples you have shown us, I assume you have that same example set in your business where you're going to send me a checklist to follow and you are automatically notified of it.
Yep, exactly.
That's amazing. I'm so excited right now. Okay, Glenn, you can go.
I have another question. Unfortunately, I have run out of time. I have to go. I think, unless I'm looking, hang on, see if I'm looking at this. Yeah, I have to go.
Gotcha.
So,
no worries.
I think we'll probably end up proceeding with the pro.
Okay.
I just want to go over with Shell just a little bit further, but can you send us, whatever we need?
What you need us to
sign
if
we decide we're going to move forward.
Yeah. So what I'll do after a call here is send a recap with the recording as well as summary of everything we went through, the 2 tiers and that we'd be looking at, and they'll also include an invoice for the setup. If you want to move forward, you can just go ahead and complete that, and it'll automatically send you a checklist to of things that we need, as well as a link to schedule a call. Whenever you decide, and if you want to move forward, you can just go ahead and complete that, and we can go from there.
Okay.
So that's how the actual call went, where I got a verbal yes. But a verbal yes means nothing. Now, let me show you my follow-up process that actually got us paid within an hour. As soon as we hung up, while everything we discussed was still fresh, I immediately sent them a recap email summarizing the biggest opportunities that we identified, how LeadBuddy would help solve those problems, what the onboarding process would look like, and an actual payable link to the setup invoice. I didn't wait a couple hours until the afternoon or the following day. I sent it within 20 minutes of the call ending. And shortly after that, the invoice was already paid. Their onboarding call was scheduled, and they officially became a paying LeadBuddy client. Now, I say all that because I think there's an important lesson here. People often ask, how do you get clients to close on the first call? And the answer isn't by being super pushy or having the perfect sales script or memorizing a bunch of objection handlers. It's taking the time to genuinely understand the business first. Figure out how they operate today, identify the bottlenecks that are slowing them down, and find the highest leverage opportunities. Then you show them exactly how you and your solution solves their problems by connecting every feature to a real business outcome. When someone clearly understands the value that you're creating, the sale becomes that much easier. Then it's your job to keep that momentum going. So you follow up immediately, you remove as much friction as possible, and you make it incredibly easy for them to take the next step while the excitement from the call is still there. So if you're interested in learning how to sell HighLevel as a SaaS product, that's exactly what this channel is about. I share real client calls, sales breakdowns, marketing strategies, automation buildouts, snapshots, and the exact systems I use so you don't have to build everything from scratch. And if you sign up with HighLevel using my link in the description, you'll also get all of my bonuses, including my snapshots, workflows, funnels, SOPs, sales assets, and access to my free weekly live coaching call where I help people find clients, run demos, and close deals. And lastly, if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to subscribe because I put out content like this constantly, and that includes more sales calls and behind the scenes breakdowns. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.